Hello, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing a movie that's related to the holiday of Memorial Day. By the time you're watching this, it is technically Memorial Day, but by the time I'm filming this, it is, I believe, 6 days. No, wait. Yeah, 6 days away from Memorial Day, on Tuesday, 5/25 at 7 o'clock. So, and the reason for that is because ever since, I know this is like back in the first week of May, but ever since I went to the beach for that Mother's Day trip, my schedule for making videos has been all over the place. So technically, movies that I have planned for next week, I'm watching this week. Like spoiler alert, I already watched Memorial Day and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which you'll see my thoughts on Fantastic Four 2005 in my ranking that I do after this video. But with all that said, this is the film that I decided to pick for the movie of Memorial Day for 2021. And without further ado, let's get started talking about it. So for me, the best thing about Memorial Day is that as it is a film about a veteran that celebrates his war life, it's really good at that. And when you really think about it, as I was going into the film, on the poster, it has James Cromwell, who I know from the old guy that had from the Green Mile, that his wife had a tumor. And then I know him as Captain Stacy in Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, not Spider-Man 3 of the MCU. So I know James Cromwell a good bit. But I just did not know. Sometimes when I go into movies, I don't really know what's to happen. There's some movies I do know, but most movies I don't. This movie in particular, I did not know James Cromwell was actually going to be the veteran, the certain soldier that's celebrating this life. And I thought that the way he was like talking to his son, or I would say his grandson, about all of this stuff was actually kind of cool, as there's so many concepts of, like, if your grandparents was in the war and they were talking to you about like guns and why they liked birds and such, and like it really just has like that grandparent relationship, grandkids and grandparents relationship that I honestly kind of like. That it makes you kind of think about the time that you have with your grandparents. And my grandparents have died off in the past. Now I don't think anyone in my family has ever gone to the moon, like that's part of NASA or any space stuff, or been in the war. I don't think any of my family has been in. There probably has, but they just haven't talked about it. But yeah, James Cromwell plays a really good actor in this film, and he really just plays the old veteran guy very well. Along those same lines, it really just plays with the emotions very well. It really does so many great things with the emotions and what it means for Memorial Day of veterans. And it just does like a great job with that. As James Cromwell cries because of stuff that happened with the war, and the kids think that he's mad at the thing. That's kind of a reasonable thing that a child would see when an adult would be crying at a certain time like this. So I thought that was I thought the emotions worked in this movie. And I also really like some of the war aspects of it. So they show aspects of the war trying to move. Okay. You know what? I can't move this. Okay. Hang on. I'm trying to move my mic. Sorry. I'm trying to get my mic in place where it could, like, I could talk in front of it. Okay. So they show different parts of the war. Like, they show parts of it in the present day, and then parts of the war, back in, like, World War II. And I think that when they show different parts, whether it's present day or the past scenes, I think each one of those worked. I do have problems of the way they do that, but we'll get into that when we get into the bad. But I thought the war scenes were really cool, as some of the fights were pretty cool. Well, not fights, but there wasn't really a lot of action. But we'll get into that in the bad also. But there was some pretty gruesome fights, and the music is just phenomenal in this film. It almost felt like I was watching an MCU film, to be honest with you. And I think that has to do with, Captain America. It almost felt like it literally just came out of Captain America, the Captain America trilogy. And if this was a Captain America film that came out on Memorial Day in, like, the next couple of years or something, like, if Captain America 4 came out on Memorial Day, that would be the best thing ever. Because, it fits the holiday that it's going for, and maybe even Veterans Day, who knows. But honestly, that's what I think Falcon and Winter Soldier should have done. It should have been released on the week of Memorial Day, June 4th, to celebrate Captain America. Or it should have been released in July. Sorry. I'm getting way off topic. Moving on. So, the war scenes I thought were pretty good. They really just kind of had that balance of what the war was, and kind of established James Cromwell's past of him in the war. And as you see his grandson in the war, it kind of you don't really get much of him in the war, but you see him as a soldier, as he's basically the guy that he's trying to be like his grandfather. So I thought that was nice touches. So that's really all the good for me on the good here. Now let's move on to the bad. So the first issue I have with the film is this movie, the way it tells the story is kind of weak. And when they're doing the story shift, when the grandson is telling the story of his history with his granddad, his granddad talking about the war and stuff. Parts like that, and then it goes back to the present time. Parts of that reminded me of Titanic, where in Titanic, while Rose was telling the story, you went back to the present day and you were talking to old lady Rose. And this to me kind of felt similar to that. But they do it in a different sense, where not only do they talk about the history of his history with his granddad, but they also discover some of the history with the grandson being the soldier. With him being the soldier in the army, and what's his life like? But it doesn't make sense. I mean, granted, experiencing his life as a soldier, as of right now, is cool. That's cool. That's some cool stuff. But the specific story, but once he's in the bed and he's telling his story to this woman, and they're talking about corn being a vegetable or not being a vegetable, it just loses it for me. So I thought that when they were doing that, I thought that was kind of the weak part of the movie. But other than that, this is still a pretty good movie. It is kind of boring, there are some boring parts, but other than that, this is still a solid war movie. And yeah, so that's really it on the negatives. But be sure to tell me down below, what do you guys think about Memorial Day 2011 or 2012? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? We're right there in between. Let's get some nice discussions going. With that said, let's get on with my scores. Alright, so that is it for my Memorial Day 2011 or 2012 review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram name is Marvel6. My TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. If you guys don't understand those names, head to my About section so you can follow me on all of those social medias. I'm also on Letterboxd. It's the same name as my Instagram, Marvel_6_. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.